will be a great wrestling podcast, and you can believe in that.
I knew he was going to do it. I knew.
This is OT3.
Good morning, good afternoon, whatever you want to call it. I know it's an early start time on a Friday, but this is OT3. I'm Anthony, he's Matt, and of course we got Paul. What's going on this morning, afternoon for you gentlemen?
What's up, guys? This is your certified GM, Matt.
Any way to cut his feed?
That's funny. Who did he just do an impression of, or try to?
I mean, it was a mixture of what he did. It's usually Enzo and Cass that call themselves certified Gs, but Mick Foley called himself the certified GM when he drafted him this past Tuesday on SmackDown Live.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it was a mixture of both of them.
I'm the certified GM of the OT3 Fantasy League. I almost said Shape Sports Talk Fantasy League.
You know what's funny is that when we were doing my podcast the other day, we got everybody was ready. They were making a ruckus. I had to calm them down, so I got them quiet so we could just start the show. And I hit the button. It was your Shape Sports Talk intro. They were like, "Oh man, you suck." It was fun.
Awesome. I got some publicity.
Anyway, sorry. That was a quick.
Big
how you doing,
wrestling.
Anthony?
I'm doing good, Paul. Thank you for asking. Unlike my co-host there that never asks, so he really doesn't care. But how about you, Paul? How's your week been?
It's been fine, man. Just work back. Last week we took my kids. I think we were talking about it earlier. To Great Wolf Lodge, and that was a lot of fun. My daughter turned 10.
Jeez,
Yeah,
did
don't
she
rush it,
age
Paul.
that quick?
Yeah. No, I mean the thing. I was about to say 10 turning on 16, or something like that. But
Yeah,
it's
I
just
got
crazy.
you.
So they had fun. How's
I
that?
had
cool.
I had big news this week, but I can't announce it yet because I haven't told certain
Okay,
people
well.
about it. But big news is coming for me, and will help out the show. I think you all can agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will eventually be able to go back to our normal times of Monday, pending stuff that is happening.
Yeah, so we'll leave it at that without further getting yourself into any hot water.
I doubt they even watch this, but
You never know.
big week in wrestling, Anthony.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
At the draft.
Yeah, I don't know what your entire. I know you were working for most of it, but I was home and very, very intrigued with how the draft went down. The first 2 hours, I expected some of it. Some of it I was not. I was very surprised at some of the picks, how people slipped, people that went a little bit earlier, and then even to some of the guys that I expected to go in the first 2 hours went on the last hour on the network. So, I mean, a lot of people slipped that I didn't expect, and the rosters shaked out a little bit different than I think me and you drafted. But obviously when me and you drafted, we weren't doing it based off of how we were going to build storylines. We were building it just based off of who we thought was going to be the best, for our show, not what, WWE already has planned for these guys going forward. So we'll start. We want to start with the first round on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. We kind of go through each round and say who we think got the advantage.
Sure, let's go ahead. I think.
All right.
I mean, obviously, I think we both can agree that Raw got the advantage.
On the first round,
Yeah.
let's play the advocate here. All right, for a second. You say they got the best advantage. I agree they got a good advantage, but you look at the two picks that SmackDown made. Yes, I think Raw got the slight advantage because they got Finn, who's going to be a huge superstar. But when you look at it, AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose, who's currently still the WWE champion, so if they go with that there's only one champion, SmackDown got the biggest champion there is. But then Raw, on the flip side, grabbed Charlotte, who I was very happy to see get picked that early. I thought that was great for to continue this Divas Revolution, that she got picked third overall and second for the Raw show. She got picked, and they also picked Seth Rollins first, who I had told Matt from the beginning Seth Rollins was going to be the first-round pick. I knew that was going to be a done deal. And then with the third pick, they choose the first NXT superstar in Finn Balor. So I know I want to say SmackDown got the edge, but when you break it down, yes, SmackDown got the WWE Championship currently. We'll see how that pans out. But Raw did get probably arguably, like I said Seth Rollins I think is the best superstar on the roster. I know Matt always likes to say, I don't know about that. But Finn Balor's another guy. I heard Corey Graves make a great point. This is a guy that you see, not only is he a phenomenal wrestler, no pun to AJ, but he also sells a lot of merchandise.
Finn?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
right there with John
Yeah.
Cena. So, like,
Yeah.
you know, you might not have John Cena. Obviously, that's foreshadowing for what happens in the second round. But Finn Balor's another guy that even when you go to the main shows, you see his shirts, and he had yet to make his debut on the main show. So I can only imagine how big this is going to be for
Well, you
Raw.
saw
And
I have his shirt. I mean, I went
yeah,
out
I have a
the
shirt
first time.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I agree with you that, I think in terms of going young, definitely Raw with the advantage with Seth, Charlotte, Finn. I mean, no point intended to AJ, like you said. I mean, he's 37, like said on our draft special. And also SmackDown did get the champion, but Raw's banking on Stephanie and Mick. We're banking on Seth walking out as the champion at Battleground. That's what they were going with, and we'll have to see if it pays off. If it pays off, then definitely Raw got the better first round. If it doesn't, then the debate's still up for air. But I still think Raw's got the best product out of the first round.
Yeah, I agree with you. And we'll if we're tallying it here, we'll go with Raw for the first round for the first 5 picks. We'll stick with Raw as a winner there. If you move on to the second round, this is where me personally, I think SmackDown took a huge leap because Raw came right out of the gate, and you know what? They said, hey, if Seth doesn't win on Sunday, we're going to cover ourselves, and we're going to take Roman. So Raw takes Roman. SmackDown rebuttals with the face that runs the place, as they call him, John Cena. Then Raw goes again, takes Brock Lesnar. I told you how I feel about that. I'll get more into it after we talk about the picks. And then SmackDown goes again and says, hey, we'll take who he's facing at SummerSlam. We'll go with Orton. Then Raw finishes, and this is where it got really tough because between those two, Roman and Brock, and then Cena and Orton, clearly I think SmackDown gets the advantage. You're talking about a part-timer in Brock, but then Raw takes the tag team champions, the New Day.
Yeah, but then you can also say that SmackDown took 2 part-timers in a row, is what the rumors are coming out. They're both.
Yeah, but they're not
Orton's
part-timers on the scale that Brock Lesnar is, where he shows up
Oh, yeah, of
once a
course.
quarter.
But
You know what I
I
mean?
think the New Day tips the scale for Raw because now you got the tag team champions on Raw, and the match this Sunday at Battleground isn't for the title, so there's no way those can change hands at all.
Yeah, and it makes sense why.
And New Day, congratulations, are now the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. I'm happy for them. They definitely deserve that.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw this, but they also it's up for pre-order. Booty-O cereal is an official thing. Like it's going to be sold in stores.
Oh yeah, going to Safeway.
Yeah.
Get some.
Yeah,
Paul,
it's
you want
on
to get
its
some
way.
videos?
I'm gonna be first in line.
I saw I think they were tasting it at San Diego Comic-Con. I saw like Miz was eating it or something like that, trying it with the New
They're
Day.
probably
and
like
supposedly-
tastes like Cheerios or something.
It looks like Lucky Charms. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like there was marshmallows in it. And then, so I don't know if it's going to be just like that. It could be completely different. But that's really cool. We talked about, are they ever going to actually get a cereal? And yeah, sure enough. I mean, it just goes to show you how big the New Day has gotten, that they're getting their own cereal now. Now, for God's sakes, can we get these WWE ice cream bars is my next question.
Nice.
All right, punk.
Seriously, I've been waiting for those things since I was a kid. Those things were delicious.
All right. So what edge do you go in the second round?
I'm going to be honest with you. I know you give Raw the edge because of New Day, but I think just on pure talent base, Orton and Cena are going to be on SmackDown every Tuesday. They might not be at every live event, but they're going to be on SmackDown every Tuesday. Orton and Cena, I take over Lesnar and Roman any day of the week.
All right.
I'll give it to SmackDown. I'll give this round to SmackDown. It's close. But New Day definitely, like I said, New Day is a huge loss for SmackDown.
All right. Well, let's get over to the third round, where you have Raw taking Sami Zayn, Sasha Banks, and Chris Jericho. And then SmackDown counters with the man that you love, Bray Wyatt, and Becky Lynch. So, very interesting. You see another 2 divas taken in that round. But there's someone missing in these first 3 rounds. I can't put my name on it. Where the hell is Kevin Owens?
Dude,
And I know I texted you this in the middle of the draft. I'm like, what's going on?
I'm going to be honest with you. When Kevin Owens in the first 5 picks, I expected Raw to take him 3. I just think that he's too big of a talent to not grab so. I know it's all storylines and they do this and that, but Kevin Owens, when he said when he went on that pre-show and said, "Hey, I should be the number 1 guy. I'm the best, here right now," And he said, I'll give credit to, John Cena and the Seth Rollins and the Roman Reigns and the Ambrose because they're world title. They've won the world title before. He said, I get why they're, but Sami Zayn, as much as like we joke around, Sami Zayn should not have gone before Kevin Owens.
You know who Sami Zayn also shouldn't have gone before? And I totally 100% is with this? Cesaro.
Yeah, Cesaro slipped way too much, and we'll get to him obviously in a few more rounds, which is crazy to me that he went. But I know this is all like they have it planned out probably, but how does SmackDown not grab Kevin Owens if he slips to the? There's no way he should have slipped to the fourth set of picks.
But
he should have gone at the latest that first pick in the third round, but he should have went in that second round. That would have imagine if SmackDown would have grabbed him
and Bray.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Becky Lynch was an awesome pick to be the first diva to go to SmackDown, and that's awesome for their, face of SmackDown. But I give Raw the advantage here again. I think Bray
Really?
Wyatt. Yeah, I think
I'd give
Bray
it to
Wyatt.
SmackDown.
You think so? Because Raw got Sasha Banks, and they got Chris Jericho, who I think is the best, probably behind. It's close, man. I think on the mic, he's probably the best heel in WWE right now. What they do with him is a whole nother story.
I
But
just like the Bray Wyatt pick alone.
I love Bray Wyatt. You know how I feel about. I was glad that they didn't draft him with the Wyatt family. I know people were like, "Oh, why'd they break him up?" Because he needs to be on his own, and that's why they need the second world title back. And I really hope they bring it back because they need to show that Bray Wyatt, all these guys. I don't want to say too much because we're going to talk more, but you'll see who I mean as we keep going down the list of people who got drafted. But Bray Wyatt should already won the world championship. There's no doubt in my mind.
Uh-oh.
Are we still there?
Looks like I lost. Oh, wait a minute. Things are returning.
Hello.
That was weird.
Can you hear me?
Yep. We still live?
Sound check. Sound check. Yeah.
I
we're
can
still
hear
live.
everyone. I just don't see the pictures. So,
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
we're coming back slowly but surely.
There we
Think
go.
We're here.
All right.
I don't
Now I'm
see-
Matt,
frozen.
we're just waiting on you, Matt.
Matt's
I'm
stuck.
here. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can hear you.
Well, let's
Just
keep
don't
going.
see your
They'll
picture.
just be stuck.
Yeah. So I go with Raw because you know how I feel about Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks is the most talented diva on the roster, and I think she's one of the most talented wrestlers. Period, with the guys and the women mix. So in there, and I'm not just saying just based off the divas. So I think she should have been the first pick for SmackDown. Again, I understand why they're doing it. They want to put Sasha on Raw because they still think it's going to be the number one show. But these draft picks are showing otherwise to me. So.
Can we get
Sami Zayn, like I said, I'm not as big on that pick being there, but it's not to say that Sami Zayn's not ultra talented and he's going to be a huge, huge wrestler to come for years for them. But again, didn't want to see him and Owens on the same show. I was really hoping they were going to split him. I thought for sure Zayn would have went to SmackDown and Owens would have stayed on Raw or vice versa. But I guess they want to continue seeing that feud again because now they're saying it's the last one. We're going to see this match again.
So can you guys tell me something? Can you guys tell me what the draft is? So it's actual draft in WWE, right? Is that what you guys are saying?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like an NFL like draft. Like they're going back and forth between picks, and every superstar
Basically-
was up for draft.
Basically,
Draft.
think of it how we do the NFL, like how you do a fantasy football draft. So
Yeah.
obviously, this is going to be real, but it's like everyone's available. You take the best available and you put them on your side. And now they're only going to show up. So if you got drafted to Raw, you'll only be on Monday Night Raw, and if you got drafted to SmackDown, you'll only be on Tuesday Night SmackDown. SmackDown
wow.
Live, as they're calling it.
Okay.
So they
Hey.
won't be able to show up on both shows anymore.
Real
They'll
quick.
just be on one and one.
Speaking of the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, did you see that eerie promo from Eric Rowan?
I did not see it yet. No, I'll have to watch
I
it.
sent you the link on a text.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Yeah,
Dude,
I saw it. I just didn't get a chance. I was
that
at
was
work and.
I don't even know what to say about it.
Matt, do you
Yeah.
turn your video feed on and off?
Oh, there we go. It was off. All right.
There
That's
we
what I
go.
figured. I think it happened to everyone. So we're back.
Nice. All right.
So, I know I said Raw gets the advantage. Let's weigh the pros and cons one more time, Matt.
I'm gonna go
Bray
with-
Wyatt, huge should be a future multi-world champion. They take Becky Lynch, who I think is as obviously she's awesome too. But then on the flip side, you go to Raw. It's just so hard to always tip it, SmackDown because Raw always got 3-2 until we get into the later rounds that happen.
I'm gonna give
Raw,
this one. I'm gonna give this
SmackDown.
one to SmackDown because of Bray Wyatt.
So are you 2-1 SmackDown or 2-1 Raw right now?
2-1 Raw.
Okay, so you gave the Cena and Orton round You gave that to Raw too?
Yeah, I'll give that one to Raw.
Wow. All right. I will. I'll stick with my initial pick for Raw, and I'm going to go with Raw. As hard as it is for me to say that, but I do think that Bray Wyatt may have been. It's a top 3 pick in the draft for me. Bray Wyatt to SmackDown. I will say that.
All right, so let's move on to the next round, where we have another champion taken. We have Raw. Raw took Rusev, Kevin Owens, and Enzo and Cass. And then on the flip side, you have SmackDown took The Miz and Baron Corbin. And I am completely 100% saying Raw won this round because you got Kevin Owens, you got Rusev, a champion, and you got Enzo and Cass, the biggest up-and-coming tag team in wrestling. Probably the Vince's, he loves the guys to death. They're going to get a major push for probably the tag championships coming up in the next couple months. How can you not say Raw didn't win this round? Is there any way you can?
No, I mean, it's really, there's not up. Don't get me wrong. I think Miz is going to do good stuff. I know how much you hate him, but him being on SmackDown, I think will be a nice change for him. And right now, he's the top champion if Ambrose loses. So that'll be something interesting to see. And then I do like the Baron Corbin pick. I think that he's a great future, up and coming guy. But I think it's a no-brainer that Raw won that round. They got Kevin Owens, who I've said how we just spoke about earlier, that we couldn't believe he slipped to this 4th set of picks. He's one of the best in the ring, one of the best on the mic. All around might be the best, as he said. And then Enzo and Cass, who's white hot right now on the microphone. White hot, got something going for him. And Rusev is a savage. And, of course, he gets the beautiful Lana with him. Mm-hmm. But if I'm going with just Lana versus Maurice, I got to give Maurice the edge. So
what are we both saying? I'm saying
I'm
Raw.
going Team Raw, I think, by a landslide. This is probably the round that I think that it was the easiest to decide who won.
All right. And now we go to the next round. And we have Raw. They take the club. So AJ officially has been parted ways with the club, but they may reunite with Finn Balor. So that should be interesting. Then you have Big Show, God knows why, and Nia Jax. And then on the flip side for the SmackDown team, God, crap, all my stuff just went ape crap. What's going on here? I had it all up on my phone and it all just went crazy.
I know SmackDown took American Alpha.
American Alpha and Dolph Ziggler. So this round, I think, is very, very close, in my opinion, in terms of picks. I mean, yeah, you take the club, but Big Show and Nia Jax, I think, were curveballs, especially Big Show. No one expected him to even be taken.
Big Show pick was, to me, was...
Nia Jax was a surprise, I think, for a lot of people. But I'm going to give this one to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because you get American Alpha, the best up-and-coming tag team in wrestling. They're up there with Enzo and Cash. They're probably. I wish they were on the same show. I really wish, but they had to give SmackDown.
Alpha gets SmackDown. Yeah,
they had to give SmackDown, and I think Dolph Ziggler. This is a chance for him to try to maybe reinvent himself a little bit. Maybe push for the SmackDown Championship if they do have one. Maybe push for the IC title. I think Ziggler needed something like the draft to maybe reinvent himself, especially on a show like SmackDown, where the same show where he won his first title, I believe.
Yep.
So, and I think SmackDown definitely won this round, and I honestly believe they won this one in a landslide.
Yeah, I think American Alpha's like. I know you say Enzo and Cass is the best guy. I think American Alpha in ring is the best thing going right now. I don't know if you've got the collegiate background that both of them have. Those guys are awesome. I think that it was a good thing them getting drafted to SmackDown because they're going to be the faces of the tag team division. Now, is there going to be a title they fight for? That's the whole next story, too, that, and I really do, too, because they deserve to, be competing for the titles.
They can job on the Ascension 20 times a year.
But I think SmackDown won this round. I love Dolph Ziggler. It's another guy, I think, like Bray Wyatt. Obviously, Bray has never won, so I hope that he wins before Dolph. But I think Dolph should be in that picture of a world title picture over there on SmackDown. So far, I love the world title picture on SmackDown with Orton, Cena, AJ, Dean, Bray, and Dolph. So
you know what? Come to think about it, they did say that Orton was going to feud with AJ, so maybe we should have saw this coming probably a little bit.
Yeah.
They said
once that happened, I was like, okay, done deal.
I didn't think about it. So let's go to the next round where Raw came out and got Neville, the returning Neville. Cesaro has finally been picked, and Sheamus. And then on the opposite side, you got Natalia and Alberto Del Rio. I think it's another case SmackDown just won the last round. I think you have to shift this back to Raw, and I think the main thing for Raw is getting Neville and Cesaro. I think it's time for Neville to finally be able to showcase what he can. Neville may not have the pedigree of maybe of a world champion, and they'll hit him with the size, like they try to do with Daniel Bryan and whatnot. But I think Neville's special in the ring. He was, besides Finn Balor, he was the longest running NXT champion. And I would love to see him to go for maybe an IC or US title, depending what happens, at this pay-per-view. And I really hope something happens to him. Sheamus is becoming more of an afterthought now in wrestling with all the younger guys. And then you have Cesaro, who I think was snubbed. I think is what you call a draft snub, being taken this late.
Yeah, I think Cesaro would have fit a lot better on SmackDown. In my opinion, I think with the way that talent was built over there, and he even said it himself that he doesn't want to be in the Authority show; he wants to be on the wrestling show. So I think that Cesaro would have fit a lot better on SmackDown to me. But Raw gets a great pick in Cesaro. I like Sheamus still. I know he's not going to be as big of a deal as you think, but he, I watched a lot of these backstage, promos after they were drafted, and he said, I want to go back to how I was in 2010 and 11 when I became, when I won the WWE Championship and one of the fastest, climbs from making my debut. So maybe we see him at least compete. And another thing with Neville that we didn't really talk about, don't forget the Cruiserweight title's coming back to Raw. Neville fits that bill.
You know who else fits that bill? I was reading about it. Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
No, but still.
He might compete, but he ain't going to be.
Cool.
I don't think he'll
but
be.
They have
in
a
there.
lot of good cruiserweights. I think people. You mean the Enzo's on the show? Neville.
Yeah, maybe that's how they break him and Cass up.
Balor. Who else were they saying? I think.
Well, is Balor part of it?
Balor's in the weight class.
I think Neville is the guy that they really want to build it around. That's my opinion. That'll soon to be seen.
Who are the two guys they just recently signed for the cruiserweight? What's the one Japanese?
Kota Ibushi.
I think him and Neville could put on a hell of a match.
And Grand Metallic, is that right? I can't. I'm
I
off
really
the top of my
hope
head here.
Sabre Jr. gets a contract.
We'll see. I know they've been talking to a lot of them, so we will see how that works. I think there's a lot of guys down, and they're saying that the winner of the Cruiserweight Classic could end up being the inaugural, Cruiserweight champion.
Makes sense. That totally makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And then they could show up on Raw, and then people that are on Raw could be like, hey, I don't know what you think happened down there, but you weren't facing us, something like that. So that'll be cool to introduce them like that.
So with the first 30 overall pits done, who do you give the edge to?
If you go overall,
it should be enough. Man.
I don't want to. I have to say Raw.
Okay. So we can both agree on that.
Yeah. That last round I give to Raw because of we didn't. I would give that because those three guys are studs. I think SmackDown made huge improvements, but to me, I really feel like SmackDown should have had. They had an awesome draft, but I feel like they should have given them a better one because they're just continuing to allude that they are the B show. You know what I mean? By not giving them 2 draft. I understand it's 3 hours. You guys are getting the Cruiserweight division. You could have just brought all these guys in after the draft. What do you need to have an extra? I think they just made them look. And look how many people they picked early tag teams before. They didn't pick a tag team on SmackDown until Alpha. They had already picked the New Day, Enzo, and Cass already, and the club when they picked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they gave them 3 multiple picks before they even got one.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt, Anthony, but James Skinner
okay.
says Cedric Alexander deserves a contract. Is that a top?
James is up this early. Jesus.
He probably just got off work recently, I think so.
Matt's still. Oh my god.
What did he say, Matt? What did he say? Can you repeat that?
I like this guy.
He said Paul for president and Anthony for vice president.
I'll take it.
God.
You know what it would be? It would be huge.
So let's talk about, I'm giving my edge to Raw as well, but I want to talk about the NXT stars that were drafted. So they said since we're going to be drafted, so we had in the main one we had Finn, we had American Alpha, Nia Jax, and then I believe the other ones were off air on the WWE Network, and then you have Alexa Bliss, which was already rumored. And then you get down to Eva Marie was one of them.
No, she wasn't.
She
was
wasn't?
considered a call-up because, remember, she made her debut at WrestleMania
All right,
again.
thank God. Because I remember
So
we sent text messages back to each other like, are you serious?
The fact of the matter is that they even considered that she was still on the main roster.
Let's not get into that. And then you have Mojo, who I believe is on the same show now as Ryder, so maybe they could be doing a Hype Bros thing. And then Carmella, who I'm a little disappointed. I wanted her to go to Raw to reunite with Enzo and Cash, but I guess that wasn't in their works. I guess they're trying to separate those two. Speaking of separating, Del Rito and Paige got separated. Now they're separated
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was gonna say I saw that she was deleting stuff off Instagram of the pictures of them. So
Jeez.
that's what happens. Why do you get tattoos? Get saying Poppy on your finger for him? Like you've been dating him with a month. Del Rio, you know what I mean? I mean, he's an older guy, so maybe she thought.
What the hell?
No, I think that he got divorced. I thought.
Whatever. It's just sad. They got on the different shows, and it was like, we're done. I'll never see you. Go with your Carmella.
Oh God. Ooh, Carmella. Don't even get me started on that. She is
Isn't her and Cash?
FABOLOUS.
Aren't her and Cash like a thing?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I gotta look her up. What's her name again?
Carmella. She's one. I like her because she's an Italian from Jersey. So that's I like that. I'm okay with it.
Okay, I wonder if she went to the Jersey Shore.
I mean, that was her character. It was supposed to be she was from the Jersey Shore. I think she was a hairstylist.
Jesus.
Like Kalisto was supposed to be.
Wait,
I know
what?
James remembers that. Oh, you never heard that?
No.
Oh, dude, there was a rumor back when he was first coming up that they were going to make Kalisto a hairstylist character when he debuted. Yeah. James might write in the chat about it because I know he saw it. And me and him used to joke about it all the time because I think they wanted to make him like very flamboyant, like how his character would be. Like, hey boys, like, and he would come out.
So
with,
wait, is he an actual Lucha guy though?
I'm not too sure. I'm really not entirely sure his where he came, like how his up was to NXT, where he started. I think he started. Man.
So he's probably not as big as a Lucha as what Sin Cara was.
No, because he was younger too.
Okay.
So yeah. So Sin Cara.
Well, this
had
isn't
a lot
even the
more.
real Sin Cara, but that's a totally different debate.
Yeah, I hear you on that. So.
All right, so that's pretty much the draft with WWE. Especially SmackDown got a couple tag teams in the.
I think off the air, SmackDown.
Well, yeah.
May have won.
You got the Usos. You got the Ascensions. I guess what's
the Ascension? I like. Breezango, baby. What about Breezango?
But I guess for the Ascension, I guess what's his face isn't suspended anymore.
No, that suspension's been over since.
But then
over a month now.
You finally get to see the Wyatt family are separated. Eric Rowan's still with Bray. Strowman's by himself. And I can't wait to see what Strowman can do by himself. Did you see the standoff between him and Big Cass? Those are some big boys.
Say James wrote Kalisto was Rico Jr.
Oh my God.
Say that's what they wanted, but I think you're missing a lot of other picks that SmackDown made. Another guy that fell way too far down, Apollo Crews.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget
about SmackDown
Kane.
And Zack Ryder, the Li Broski.
Kane.
Kalisto.
The Von Villets.
But I feel like Kalisto should have been on Raw with the Cruiserweights, but I'm glad that him and Sin Cara got split up.
The Von Villains.
Yeah, dude, I think SmackDown won the second half.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Carmella and Alexa Bliss, both NXT divas. Naomi, who we haven't seen in a long time. I was very happy to see her get drafted. So
here,
I
have a question for you.
Go ahead.
In terms of people splitting up. I feel like someone didn't get drafted.
Oh, no. The hottest free agent, baby.
What the hell? Why? What kind of storyline are they going into?
They're going to let him.
Can we all agree that segment with the Schultz Outcast where they all were like, oh yeah, and it was just Bo Dallas, and you just see Heath Slater say, what the hell? And he just walked right off the set.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, what they need to do with Bo Dallas is he needs to get a submission move as his finisher. And when he has them in the submission, he needs to like talk to them and be like, don't give up, just believe, as he's like, so that they don't tap out. And then they tap out and then he yells like, I did it or something like that. That's how they need to use him again, because that character, everyone hated it. But I thought it was the funniest thing
I thought he was great
of
on
all
that
time.
Steve,
yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Imagine if he did that. Could like how annoying, like he'll be smiling with that like high pitched voice.
It'd be so.
Don't give up, just believe. I mean, so I was very happy to see that they did this with Heath, because I think Heath needs some kind of push. They always say, oh, they got plans for him, and then he ends up jobbing again.
I feel bad
3MB.
for him,
he always does good with whatever he's with. 3MB, he did pretty decent in.
I think he's a great wrestler.
Social Outcast. Yeah, he's not bad.
He was great in the NXT.
He's
when
not bad.
When they finally repackaged him with the short hair and everything, I was like, okay, good. This is finally something for him. And then they just keep on putting him with jobbers. But the thing is, if you look about it, is all the people that he's been with, he's lasted them all.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre, gone. Adam Rose, see you later. I mean, he's lasted a lot of these jobbers, and they're keeping him around because he's entertaining. I mean, you see him on Swerve. He's the funniest guy on Swerve.
He's good. No, I think, and I hope they're saying that he's going to show up on like Evolve and he's going to show up on some of these like independent promotions that WWE has ties with. So I wouldn't even be surprised if we see Heath down in NXT as down there for a little bit.
But when he shows up on Evolve, he's still under WWE contract, isn't he?
Correct.
Okay.
But Evolve and WWE have like a working partnership.
Okay, so you say they do. So what was that whole shoot when Ethan Carter was down there with Drew McIntyre? I mean, how did that...
They said that for him to do that the WWE probably signed off on something saying like, let him say what he wants, but just make sure he doesn't do anything too crazy, because otherwise Evolve is not going to ruin the chance that they have, because WWE sends NXT guys there all the time. Like, so they had Alpha there, they had Regal.
Why would they even sign off on that for him to do that?
Because they don't mind. They want Evolve to get more publicity. Yeah, exactly. Because they're using a lot of those guys.
Is that why they had wrestlers keep going down to try to get him off the mic? I guess to try to play into it.
Right. I don't think WWE was directly involved with it, but Evolve, I'm sure, cleared that with them, because if not, I don't think Vince or Triple H or anyone that was making that call to work with them would have been okay with that happening if they didn't give them a heads up. So,
can I give a quick sports breaking news real quick? And this is big for the NFL. Did you just get it?
About Dennis Green?
Yeah, that's pretty sad, man. It's died of heart attack at 67. That's a pretty prominent coach back in the
90s.
90s, So sad news out of the NFL. I know it's not wrestling news, but I am the host of Shive Sports Talk, so that kind of goes into that. So
nice.
Prayers out to his family.
Yeah, very sad. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah. All right, so let's keep going. So we got all that. The Bray Wyatt split. Dude, when you're gonna watch that Eric Rowan thing, that's just it was. I guess the fans. I know you haven't seen it yet, but the thing is, he's inside a shed, and then he's walking out with a body, like wrapped up in like a little like a cloth type thing, like a hacky sack, and the head is out of the bag, but it's like a mask, and he's just carrying it. And it's just like, what in the hell is this? And then you got the Luke Harper freaking tweet that no one knows what the hell that's about.
Yeah,
I sent you that. That was completely
goodbye
out there. So I mean, I don't know. Where the thing? Yeah, Harper wasn't drafted. Where's he gonna show up?
A lot of people that were still injured that weren't like back on the return yet. Like Neville was one of the few select people, and same with Orton, because they're coming back. Like Neville's already been competing on the dark shows, the dark matches. So they said Harper, Tamina, but now Nikki Bella is another one that was on the list. But Nikki Bella is going to be at the Performance Center returning for her comeback. Here shortly.
Goldberg.
I would love if Goldberg came back.
Vinny on the chat says Goldberg.
And then I see, before I get into like other people that they talked about returning that aren't with the company at all, a lot of these injured people, when are they going to show up? And I like that, and I'm happy they didn't draft people that are injured or people that hadn't been back with the company yet, because now it adds more intrigue.
Partner.
Yeah, right. It's going to be Nia. I told you this. It's going to be Nia.
I think it's still going to be Bayley.
We're going to talk about that in a couple minutes when we talk about Battleground. But you talk about all these guys, and I'm glad they didn't bring any of these people that they said were going to re-sign with the company, the people that they've been trying to bring back, that had been in the WWE in the past, because it adds more intrigue to when you're just sitting down watching Raw or SmackDown, because they're live. It's no more spoilers anymore.
When these guys show up.
One of the guys just shows up. He's like, they're talking on the mic, and then bam. We know for sure, they don't want to leak the stuff, but I shouldn't say we know for sure. The dirt sheets and the rap sheets are reporting that Hawkins and Rhino are both going to go to SmackDown. And now they're saying Jinder Mahal has agreed to a contract with SmackDown. And then I'm also hearing
the
3MB. Yep.
3MB. Okay.
And now I'm also hearing that MVP and Shelton Benjamin have both agreed to contracts as well. Now, if those are true, we'll be seen, because
put Benjamin with American Alpha and bring Angle back.
We're not reporting here to try and like throw off the storylines. We're just reporting what we read. If it's true, I think those are both huge additions. Now the question is, where do they all end up? I know they've said already that Rhino is back in NXT, so he's going to go to SmackDown as well as Kurt Hawkins. But Jinder Mahal, I expect they're saying with SmackDown they want to add more people to them since they didn't draft as many. But what about
Benjamin?
MVP and Benjamin? Right, exactly. Do they go to Raw? I mean, MVP started on SmackDown. Does he go back to SmackDown? Does he start back on Raw? So it's intriguing to see those options.
Put Benjamin in a ladder match. Put him in a Money in the Bank. Just put him in one of those. Some of the stuff he did in those matches. You know who Benjamin kind of reminded me of a little bit with some of the stuff he did in ladder matches on who does the stuff now? It's Kofi. Kofi does some of those high-risk things with the ladder, sometimes walking up. Benjamin, I think, had the one Money in the Bank where he literally just walked up the entire ladder while I was angled.
Yep. He did.
Benjamin was very athletic for what he.
Benjamin's one of the most underrated guys that was ever in WWE.
Yep, and
No
hey,
question asked.
from
And
American Alpha.
another person I've heard, a diva I've heard that has been reached out to is Melina. So does that mean maybe John Morrison is on his way? Oh, dude, I've already told you how I feel about John Morrison, man.
You said that'd be the one guy.
That would be the one guy if they could get him. I would love to see him on SmackDown right away for the world title.
Can we finally delete the Hardys from TNA and bring them back? Have their
Delete.
foundation?
Delete.
Dude, you know what's so hard about watching TNA is you already know what's gonna happen.
What's wrong, brother Nero?
So you ready to move on to Battleground?
Yeah. Is there anyone else that you've heard about maybe making their return?
Everything I've heard, you've heard pretty much. Well,
And
probably watched
like
it.
James mentioned, a lot of like Johnny Gargano and a couple other guys have gotten full-time NXT deals, so they're starting to fill in there too. So a lot of the guys that they brought up, but I'm guessing a lot more people signed than we don't know about as well than what we've heard rumors on, because originally at one point they were going to take 12 NXT people in draft, so they only went with 6. So I'm thinking there's a lot of people that signed.
Because they need the star power down there. Once they develop more, then they'll come up. I truly believe that.
But they signed a lot of guys. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like there's more people on the way to the main roster
I think if
that we don't know
Nakamura
about.
wins at Brooklyn, Samoa is going to be the next one to come up.
They said in the fall the next call-ups will be, and they said that Samoa and Bayley are the two biggest names that are rumored, and I think Bayley is overdue. So once she finishes with Asuka, I think she needs to be
Nakamura
up.
deserves a nice little title run in NXT before he comes up.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's shift gears and go to our Battleground preview.
Yeah,
I
excellent.
don't think we've had like a good pay-per-view preview in a while because of work and everything. You know, we've been just posting our picks.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm actually very intrigued by Battleground, so I don't know about you.
I'm looking on Wikipedia. I'm just going to go down up the list from Wikipedia, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
All right, the first, number 8, I mean, obviously number 1, the title match will go down first. Number 8, they have Sasha Banks and mystery opponent versus Charlotte and Dana Brooke. Okay, who's your pick for the mystery partner?
I told you.
Nia
It's a no-brainer. Nia Jax.
I'm going to
She
go.
got drafted to Raw.
I'm going to go with
It
Bayley.
just makes sense. Why do you think Bayley?
Because she was rumored to always be drafted, and what better way than to swerve the WWE fans? Because if she's drafted, then you know she's the partner. But she's not drafted, and fans are all like, it's not going to be her anymore. And then you completely swerve the fans, and here she comes. She's officially drafted. That's the best way to swerve the fans.
Drafted to Raw.
Yeah.
That's what you think?
Yeah.
Even though she's going to face Asuka. Here's my biggest thing about it.
Happened with Kevin Owens.
Here's my biggest thing. But the difference with Kevin Owens and the difference with Bayley was Kevin Owens had the title when he came. And he was still holding the title and still defending it. And he even defended it on SmackDown against somebody to prove he was still the champion. Bayley's not the champion. If you promote Bayley, you're telling me Bayley's losing it at TakeOver in August. And it's not a taped event. They're not going to bring her up.
Good devil's advocate.
Yeah, they're not going to bring her up. If she came up for one match and that was it, but that would be kind of silly because this is that whole, draft schemes. How does that work? So I really think that it's going to be Nia Jax because I think they're going to try and show Nia Jax in a huge way in her debut. And what better way to have her debut than against, the women's champion? And I think Nia, right after, if they win, I think Nia Jax is going to plant Sasha Banks and she's going to stand up and be the only one standing after the match. I don't think Nia Jax is up here to be a face. I think she's going to be a heel. I think that they need to use her as a heel because, to be honest with you, there's no one like her. Like they've said multiple times, there's no diva. The only diva I remember similar to her was Karma.
Was Beth Phoenix, like the big woman who's like, I don't care who you are, you're not my friend. I'm gonna take you down. They ruined Beth Phoenix when they put her with frickin' Santino. That was stupid. But I mean, I think she's gonna be like the next Beth Phoenix. She's gonna be the most powerful diva out there, and no one's gonna be able to compete with her. And that's what they need right now. They tried it with Awesome Kong, but that didn't work out. So I think Nia Jax is one that could work out, and she comes from that family line of The Rock. There you go, another one.
Yeah.
Another family line. Put her with Roman Reigns. Just kidding.
What do you mean?
Oh, no.
What do you mean family line? She's actually
she's part of that. Was it the Samoan?
The Samoan. They're all like on the same lineage. That's The Rock's cousin, and then The Rock's also cousins with the Usos and
Oh, really?
Roman Reigns. Like they're all relatives. Yeah, they're all part of that same. I'm trying to think back and who was the big star?
Was the Usos.
Rikishi, was the Usos' dad. Haku was another guy that's in that
Rikishi.
family.
That guy
Remember
was awesome.
Yokozuna, Paul? Back in
Yeah.
like Yep, he's part of that family.
Okay. Oh my God.
So there's a lot of them. The Wild Samoans before that. So there's a good amount of bloodlines in the WWE
Do
with
not
that
confuse
Samoan
Samoa
lineage.
Joe with any of them.
No, they should not put Samoa Joe with him.
Don't confuse him with that. All right, so what's your pick for the match then? Who do you got winning?
Nia and Sasha.
I agree with whoever Sasha's partner is. Mine would be Bailey, so Sasha and Bailey.
Who gets the pin? Do you think Sasha or the mystery?
The mystery.
Okay.
All right, the next one I have here is the New Day against the Wyatt family. Which,
You know what? Real quick, I forgot to mention this. Is there any chance you see Nikki Bella showing up as her partner?
You know what? I was just thinking about that, but it depends on if she's ring ready. I mean, they said she's just going back to Performance Center. That's a
Yeah.
quick turnaround.
It is, but who knows? Maybe she's been, she could have
Maybe
been just saying
SummerSlam.
that the whole time. You think SummerSlam? Okay,
Yeah.
fair. I don't think it's Nikki. I think that she's the dark horse candidate to be it. But I still stick with Nia, but I would not be surprised if Nikki shows up if she's ready to go. So
Yep. All right, so like I said, we'll go with the New Day versus the Wyatt family. This feud is actually pretty damn good. I was a little concerned with it at first. I thought the Wyatts were going to come back and do something a little bit more special with someone else, but this feud's got me intrigued. The whole let's try to copy TNA compound thing, that didn't work as good as TNA's. I think that was a mistake. That was just WWE trying to be WWE. But it's I'm going to be interested to see if any New Day members turn heel here, especially Xavier Woods, if everything's going on. Personally, I think he's going to tease the heel turn during the middle of the match, and I think he's going to end up coming to his sense and help the New Day out. And I actually believe the New Day... I'm going to take the New Day in this one.
taking the New Day, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
It's hard,
I don't
especially
know.
how big those guys
Yeah,
are for
because-
the Wyatt family.
I don't know how it's going to pan out because we don't even know the Wyatts are done. So what would they gain by winning this match? You know what I mean?
There you go.
And also how you can't really progress that storyline because now Bray's on. Even if Bray was at least on Raw, you could have had Xavier maybe join him like they tease with Xavier and like looking at Bray and not knowing if he should join him. I see the New Day picking up the win.
All
I
right.
would not be surprised if the Wyatts win, but to me it doesn't make much sense to why they would win if they're splitting up. I could see maybe one of them like Strowman leaving him since they left him, and the drafts, quote unquote type thing. Strowman walks out or something like that. Now I don't see Strowman breaking down and dancing with the New Day or something like that, but
I'd lose my shit.
I would hope they don't do that. But yeah, I'd say I'd go with the New Day, and that's a match though that I'm really not. I'm more intrigued to watch it than I am on concrete on who my pick is.
All right. Next one before we get to the next set of matches, Randy Orton makes his return to the highlight reel. Do we see an RKO?
Yes, to Jericho.
Do we see a... Oh, no, he can't do the punt anymore, can he?
He's not going to punt him. No.
But I don't think he's allowed to anymore because of concussions.
Yeah,
But we
probably
see
not.
we see an RKO?
Yes.
All right. Do we see any kind of appearance from Lesnar?
No.
No? Okay.
I'm just answering yes and no right now.
Okay. Here's another one. Here's a big one. Does Randy Orton mention at all Lesnar's failed drug tests?
Yes.
You think he does?
Yes.
You think they do the same thing they did with Roman?
I think they'll do something. I think because Jericho's going to ask all the questions, so I think he's going to make some kind of, whether it's a flat-out thing or like a innuendo to it, he's going to say something.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on from that. The next one on my list is the U.S. Championship, Rusev versus Zack Ryder.
Well, how did you feel about the highlight reel? Do you think Brock's going to show up?
I don't think Brock is going to show up. I think there'll be an RKO, and I think Jericho is going to be like, I think Jericho will mention something about the steroids, and I think Randy Orton will say something along the lines, the only way Lesnar could ever beat me if he is on something else. I think that will be something. I think that will be Randy Orton's pitch.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Rusev versus Zack Ryder. What do you got? Does Ryder bring the title back to? You know what? Let's put this in contradiction with the IC title with Miz versus Darren Young. Oh, there we go again.
It's okay. And we're still here. Continue.
Okay. Let's put those two together. So you have the Miz, the SmackDown champion, versus Darren Young, who's on Raw, and then you have Rusev, the champion for Raw, against Ryder, a SmackDown guy. Do you see the titles changing shows? Let's go with that. That'll be a little bit more interesting than just talking them individually.
To me, I don't see it happening. It's plausible, but I don't. I think that they both remain on the shows they're on. I don't. I like Darren Young. I think that this is good, like that they're giving him a shot. But I don't think it's time for him to get the IC on his first big match, on a pay-per-view. He gets the championship right off the rip. And I also don't think Ryder should end Rusev streak because then they can't get their rematches technically because they're on different shows. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say no. I'd like to see Rusev get into a feud with maybe even Braun Strowman, just to have a match with him and see what Strowman's about. I know they're both heels, but I don't think it's time for Rusev to be defeated yet. I think they need to continue to build him up a little more. So,
Paul, are you still there?
I'm here. Yep.
Okay, all right. There we go. I think Anthony's video is trying to come up. I'm going to disagree with you because this is why I'm going to disagree with you. I see Darren Young bringing the title to Raw. I see Ryder bringing it back to SmackDown. And then I see Rusev immediately trying to get the IC and then Miz going after the U.S. title. I see them, switching up real quick. Make it a little more interesting, like, okay, look, I lost my title. I'm going to go now for this one on this show or this one on that show. So I really do believe the title will change hands. And the main reason why I think Darren Young is going to win is all this problem going on, throughout the world and everything with, Darren Young being the first openly gay wrestler to compete right now. I think, I hate to say it, but I see WWE trying to capitalize on that and being like, hey, look, we have the first openly gay champion on our show. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, I agree with you.
WWE's Vince McMahon's always about jumping on opportunities. I hate this. I hate to put it that way, but
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I mean, I'm not taking anything against him or anything. I'm just saying Vince, sometimes likes to jump on stuff.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't see it happening, man. Like I said, I think it's possible. I think if one of them wins, then the other one should win, but I really don't hope that it ends up being that Raw gets both champions. That would really, really drain it for me, since they already have the tag team titles and they're getting the cruiserweight. So maybe a surprise and Ryder wins and brings the other title to SmackDown, because later on the night, we have the WWE title match. So we'll see how that pans out. And I know I wrote it in the chat, but sorry for the issues. We're not too sure what's going on. I think might be an issue on Skype's end, because as you can see, we're still able to talk. It's just the videos ain't coming back up for some reason. So
Paul's working on it as we speak, probably. Is Paul there?
I'm here. Yes.
All right, cool. We didn't lose our producer. Best producer, everyone. Everyone, give it up for Paul.
Yay!
You have your little clap thing?
Yay! Sorry, I'm just working on this.
All right, so the next match I have on my list is Becky Lynch versus Natalya. I hope this is the feud. Is finally. I think they're both on the same show, so.
They just got it.
They are.
yes, they're both on SmackDown.
Yeah, so hopefully this ends the feud. I think we can both say that it's time for this feud to end. I got Becky Lynch coming out on top. Who do you got?
Can both of you guys try turning on and off your video?
I have Becky Lynch as well.
Oh, something's happening.
Trying to
Video
look.
issues due to the apocalypse. Nice.
You should have said video issues due to Pokemon Apocalypse.
Oh, that too.
All right, go ahead. Anthony. Who do you got?
Yeah, I picked whatchamacallit in that. I picked Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch needs it more than Natalya. I think it'll help her in the long run on the feud. So I think Becky Lynch wins that match.
All right, okay. So we both agree on that. So now then we get to they have these matches listed differently. I'm going to go with this one first. We're going to have Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Final thing between those two, probably not because they're on the same show. Who do you have and why?
Kevin Owens wins.
You think that's it? Do you think it's over after this?
Nope, I don't think it's over after this. I think if Kevin Owens wins, it'll be easier to make it over after this, because then you don't have to worry about the issue with where I'm sorry, just lost my train of thought there. If Zayn wins, Owens is gonna continue to try and push up. We're back with one.
How did you do that?
I didn't. I just turned it off and turned it back on again.
Okay. I don't know if Anthony, if you can do the same. Can you?
Yeah, I'm trying here. We'll see if it works. But I think Zayn will continue to make it an issue for Owens. You know what I mean? If Zayn wins, Owens will not just let that go. Owens will not go down like that. And I think since Zayn got picked before him, I think that's their way of now. They're like, hey, you know what? You got picked earlier, but Owens is going over on Sunday. And I think it does a lot more for Owens going forward, because I really do think that they're grooming him to be the next world champion.
Okay. All right. I agree with you. I think Kevin Owens. I think this win means more to him than Sami Zayn. I think Owens needs it more, especially after what happened in the draft. Owens has to prove to himself that he's better than Sami Zayn and why he proves. And I really think not only is he going to win, I think he's going to dominate Sami Zayn in this match. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
They can't do that. They stop matches now for that.
A PG bath.
Yeah. The next match I have on this before the big one is we have John Cena, Enzo, and Cass versus the Club. What do you see happening in this? And we are officially back.
Thank you.
Oh, nice.
I guess I see a cracked screen. Maybe your camera cracked a little bit. But hey, keep going though.
Wow. Talk smack, huh?
All right, go ahead with this match.
I will say that I think that. Is this finally where it happens, Matt?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
You think your boy finally shows up and
I
grabs
think
Anderson
not
and
only-
Gallows and says, "Come on, come with me,"
I think not only does my boy show up, I think my boys and then beat down AJ Styles.
and then you turn AJ face in the process, or?
Um,
But if you looked at AJ's tweet the other day, he said, "Just because we're not together doesn't mean
true.
we're not
You know what?
stronger."
I think all four of them finally join. And I think AJ passes not like the torch a little bit. The Balor's like, hey, look, I'm over here. Here are these two. Keep up with them over there.
Something's going to happen
I
to
think-
continue the AJ and Cena storyline for SummerSlam. So that's
think
that's
Finn's
why I
gonna-
don't think that
Finn's
they're
gonna
going to turn
debut.
on him. Yeah. I see Finn doing something. I just don't think it'll be to cost AJ. I think AJ and Cena is going to, like I said, AJ and Cena, my plan is AJ and Cena at SummerSlam one last time before he moves on to Randy, like they're saying, against Orton. So how they do that is the question. But I think, I don't know who's going to win, though.
I like what James just said for the previous match. Real quick, James says Owen wins, not over. Match at SummerSlam. Loser goes to SmackDown. I like that. It's a good idea.
I would be okay with that.
I'm gonna go with who won the first. I'm gonna go with Cena. I'm gonna go with 1-1, and then the tiebreakers at SummerSlam.
That's what
And I
I've been
also
thinking.
think this helps out Enzo and Cash. Because I think Enzo and Cash definitely, if they beat the Club or something like this, they can finally say to themselves, "Hey, look, we just beat another tag team. We want to come for the titles, and you know what? This could set up for another maybe triple threat style title match at SummerSlam." And I hate to say this to the New Day, and we've seen the recent cases of where teams have broken records and then they finally have dropped the belts. I think we see new tag champs by SummerSlam, and I think it's either going to be between Enzo and Cash or the Club.
Well,
be
here's
honest
the
with you.
thing you have to remember too is now SummerSlam is both shows.
So you could have.
So if there is only one tag title, is someone from SmackDown included in the tag title match? Is
Here
is
you go.
Alpha get put in that match?
Here you go. Here I got one for you. You have the New Day, then you have tournament style. You have two teams on Raw, two teams on SmackDown. They fight like the day after Battleground, 2 weeks, and then the winners of those go into a triple threat against New Day at SummerSlam for control of the title. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I could see happening. I mean, if they're going to continue with this one thing, then at these four main shows where both of them are there, they have to include titles.
Now, after these four main shows, are they going to do, I guess, what, 2 pay-per-views a month?
Individuals. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. They're going to have like a lot more. I heard Backlash is coming back in September, and that's going to be
Saw that.
SmackDowns.
That used to be that used to be the DC pay-per-view back in the day.
Yeah, well, you guys have your DC pay-per-view this Sunday at Battleground.
Fortunately, I got to work, and it's my anniversary, so I got to do. Me and my wife are doing something.
Yeah,
1 year of
Gotcha.
marriage.
nice.
All right, so
Congratulations.
So are you picking Cena?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Cena. I think now how the pin goes down, they could do a couple different things. I think either Cena's just going to pin him, and that's whoever it is, and he's going to win. But I would like to see Enzo and Cass pin the Club so they could continue that feud on Raw, since those two teams will be there without either of their counterpart in the match. You know, Cena and AJ will be over on SmackDown.
Okay. All right, now let's get to the final match of the evening. We have Dean Ambrose.
No, you forgot. Oh, yeah, did we get everybody?
Yeah.
Dang, that was quick. I feel like we missed somebody.
Nope. That's what I got listed.
Wow.
Maybe it's because we combined the two other title matches together into one.
Maybe that's what it was, yeah.
So we have the champion Dean Ambrose against Seth Rollins against the returning Roman Reigns. First question to you is, what kind of shape do you think Roman's going to be in? Obviously, he's probably training and stuff, but what do you think it's going to? What the atmosphere you think it's going to be like when he comes? Do you think he's going to get booed out of the arena?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's definitely going to get booed. He was getting booed when they picked him on Raw. When they picked him on Tuesday at SmackDown for Raw, I should say. Roman's getting pinned. I'm still really, really like skeptical because I don't know how they're going to do this title picture thing. If it's going to be only one title. If it wasn't going to be one title, I'd say Rollins is walking out the champion. If it's going to be one title, I can't see Ambrose losing because then they take everything from SmackDown. You know what I mean? I've gone back and forth multiple times now. Does Roman turn heel? Does Roman do his normal, shtick, and the fans boo him, and he continues to come out the next night and say he's not a bad guy, he's not a good guy, he's the guy? How are they going to play that out? I'm going to stick with my gut from the beginning. I'm picking Seth Rollins to walk out as the WWE champion on Sunday at Battleground. It's been my pick from the beginning. I'm not going to switch it, whether it's one world title or not. I won't be surprised if it's Ambrose. I just think Rollins is walking out the champion. I do not see Roman at all having any shot at winning. If Roman wins, I will be extremely, extremely surprised.
I've been thinking about this for a while. And the thing I'm looking forward to is what do they do at SummerSlam with this? And where do they go with this? I think Roman does get the pin, does get the one who takes the pin. So I think he'll be out of the title picture. I'm going to go with Seth only because it sets up the rematch at SummerSlam for these two. But then I'm thinking maybe something else is going to happen at SummerSlam because it's the, you can almost say the second biggest pay-per-view of the year behind WrestleMania. So it's really hard to go with someone here. I think, like you said, the title things and, with the brand split, now it's like crap, who gets what. I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins on this one, and then I think we're gonna see a tournament style for a title on SmackDown. I think that's what's gonna happen.
I mean, I'm really hoping so because that'll be very intriguing to me. I could even see it happening after SummerSlam just because, like we mentioned already, that Raw and SmackDown will both be on SummerSlam, so I could see it to where Dean gets a rematch at SummerSlam, and then for Backlash, they have the finals for the new SmackDown World title because that'll be the next pay-per-view, and it'll be SmackDown only.
Okay, I can see that too.
So, you know what I mean? I could see them holding off on it a little bit. We'll see how that pans out. And like I said, I think in the next couple of weeks to a month, you're going to get a lot more former guys to return, so that could help tip the scale if a guy like a Shelton Benjamin or an MVP especially shows up. They could be involved in these tournaments somehow. Especially if John Morrison comes back.
Oh, God, you want that so bad, don't you?
Dude, come on. That guy's awesome. He should have won the world title. The guy got screwed.
He should have beaten The Miz.
He should have. That was an awesome match. Falls count anywhere on Raw.
I'm
awesome
sorry.
Match.
He would have been a better champion than The Miz.
Miz wasn't bad. I can't hate on him. I know you don't like him at all, but the guy was not terrible. So,
all right, so that's our whole Battleground preview.
Match of the night.
Match of the night. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
Okay.
You?
What? How many? I'm gonna go with the Triple Threat Shield.
Okay.
And how many people from the NXT call-ups debut?
You mean just from the call-ups?
From the draft. Who's gonna show up Sunday, or are they gonna all wait till Monday and Tuesday?
3.
Who?
I'll go with you and say Nia Jax, Finn Balor, and Mojo.
Oh no, not Mojo.
Mojo Ryder.
If I remember correctly, they haven't officially announced a pre-show match yet, right? None of the matches they've announced have been. Okay, so maybe we get one of these NXT guys that got drafted or girls to have a pre-show match.
Okay. All right. So is that our predictions?
I'm pretty confident in that. Paul, you have anything to add to any predictions?
Not really. I don't. I haven't been really keeping up with it. So.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's gonna do it for this Friday special. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah, we've talked about Battleground. We talked about the draft. Final call on it. Who won overall, Raw or SmackDown, between both drafts?
Raw.
Okay, I agree. I think SmackDown won the second half, won off air, but I think Raw won overall.
Real quick before we go to our final thing, I'm gonna have to say my thing for Tuesday. This next Tuesday is the return of Shike Sports Talk. We're going to do our NFL fantasy preview show. So anyone who loves fantasy football, I've already made my list. We're gonna break down the top 20 of every position. We may not do the top 20. Maybe we'll do top 10 for every position except for kickers because no one really cares about kickers.
Hey, take it easy.
So we're going to do the top 10 for every position. We're going to do sleepers. We're going to do our top rookies. So please tune in Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Is that good for you, Paul?
I think so.
Yep. Chris is going to be back in the studio. We may get Christian back, and I'm trying to get Anthony on to join us if he can.
It's possible. We'll see.
Get a little, bring a little special appearance by Mr. Anthony himself. And our fantasy league has filled up for Shipe Sports Talk. So thank you to everyone who joined that. I know Anthony's in that. Paul, one of our viewers, James, is also in that lead. So thank you guys for joining. So Anthony, take it away.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Paul take it away, and then I'll finish it up. So, Paul, what you got? Anything?
Not really. Just a reminder for everybody. Just if you're watching, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Let's see. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, which is OT3 Podcast 1. Send us emails, ot3podcast@gmail.com, and like us on Facebook. That way you can get we get these little special extra treat episodes recorded early Friday morning. So you'll be on top of everything. If you just follow us, you'll know that we're coming on live. And hopefully, if you can, just join us and participate in the chat room. Thanks for everybody on the chat room. Skinner and Tondi, thank you for commenting. These guys love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's their last
names.
names. He knows. That's their last names. It's fine.
Yeah. Did you guys see what
Benny and James.
Skinner just wrote in the chat? Anyway.
Anthony wrote his teammate's Matt Still Italy. That's a little fast.
That's awesome, James. Very
Anyways.
Fantastic.
So that's pretty much it. Just make sure you're on top of following us. If you haven't already, please do so. It'll keep you updated, and we'd love to hear from you. But that's pretty much it from me.
Speaking of Yahoo, they changed their fantasy outlook, and it's kind of weird.
What,
Yeah.
the look and feel of it?
For the app.
Oh.
So,
What
I'm
were you
sorry
gonna
for
say,
interrupting you
Anthony?
there, Anthony.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, obviously, since we wanted to do this show today too, because we covered the draft, and we wanted to cover Battlegrounds. It's on Sunday, so we will not be on Monday. We will not have a new episode, but check throughout the week to see if maybe we do another episode later in the week. But like Matt said, hopefully soon we'll have an announcement, and we should be returning back to our normal time slots on Monday nights.
Yeah, definitely stay
and we'll
tuned for that.
we'll figure out where we're gonna go from there. Maybe we'll see how SmackDown and Raw are kind of panning out, and see if maybe we move the show for a different time every once in a while to talk about it. But we will definitely keep you guys updated, and I hope, like Paul said, you're following us on Twitter. Follow either myself and Matt, as well as the OT3 page, and on Facebook. And Paul, the website's still being worked on?
Yes, one letter
Under
at a
construction.
time.
Well, it's gonna get there. You know
Paul
what I mean?
still
It's
owes
gonna
me
get
my
there.
video from the wedding that was a year ago.
Hey! Don't be calling our producer out on the show like this, man. Come on.
That's hella true, though. That's so funny.
But thank you for joining us for, like Paul said, a special treat, as he called it, on a Friday show. But we got to touch on the draft. We got to give our Battleground predictions. We were able to touch on a pay-per-view before it actually happened, instead of just putting our predictions on the page. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. And thanks for watching episode 17 of OT3. We'll see you guys in the next couple weeks for our next episode. Like I said, follow the page, and we'll keep you updated. So Matt and Paul, it's been a pleasure. Have a great rest of the day. And everyone watching, James and Vinny especially, I know you were talking to us. Have a great day, and we'll see you.
See ya.
Go catch them all.
Enjoy Battleground.
Oh, yeah.